Hi, sweethearts. So today we're trying a different framing thing here. So what we're going to be doing is firstly we're just tapping into today's collective. It is a love reading. I can sense that it's a love reading. And I don't know, I'm feeling weird. I have been doing lots of changes. And I have been rearranging everything around me because I kind of had to. But I feel like that could actually be connected as well to this reading. Plus, I had a card fall out that was about compassion. So I think there's something about that too. I am also sensing tired. I was tired to begin with. But I was actually getting there. So I feel this has been a long journey. That's what I'm sensing. For this right collective. That's important. Okay, let's see. I just want to firstly make sure whose collective this is. Because the details do need to fit. Otherwise the story is not yours. But of course, there might still be a message in here for you. If you've felt compelled to click on this, or if you also feel compelled to stick around, probably there is a message here. So, I am reaching for these. That's not ordinary. Okay, let's see. This right collective. What is kind of the story here, and what's in your energy? Let's see. What's the collective that we're tapping into today? Cross. Whoa, things just dropping out. Karma, castle, tipping over, by the way. Almost like the tower then. Yeah, there's stagnation. There's absolutely stagnation here. Okay, wait, I just want to see. Exactly. Okay. So what we have until now is... I'll just go through this. Okay, the first thing we got out was the cross. So immediately I am sensing, standing at a crossroads. But it's also specifically saying stuff like sacrifice, sacrifice, release, let go, give up, surrender, put other first for the greater good, dogma, heroic effort, purpose-driven, martyrdom. Don't do that. Heed the call and down for the cause. But I'm still very much sensing crossroads. I'm just going to continue on because purpose-driven, martyrdom, and release. I'm really sensing that release because you also got a card that specifically says no, which is where the stagnation came from. But anyways, so you also had this one fall in front of the cross. So wheel, karma. Karma, dharma, destined, inevitable, cause and effect, divine intervention, cycles, luck, fortune, rise and fall, circumstances, consequences, divine will, blind justice. It's basically you did something and you got something. It's very... You did something. And I'm also sensing caught in a wheel of karma. So a loop. You've been caught in previously you have been caught in some sort of I want to say I don't I don't want to go as far as saying trauma loop, but when I say trauma, I don't necessarily mean the meanest of the mean stuff. I just mean that it's something that's kind of stuck in your body, in your nervous system, and it's kind of stuck to the degree where it creates a pattern. It's generational curses and stuff like that. I'm sensing it's about breaking free from whatever loops. Yeah, but no, that's not what I'm sensing here. Yes, it's a loop, but it's the I'm sure it'll come to me if it's important. Okay, I'm not supposed to be wording it like that then. Anywho, that was before the cross. So I'm then sensing the wheel of fate has shifted. Because it does that, it's a wheel, it turns around. If you touch it a tiny bit, then it will turn around. You do something, you get something. But it's about really breaking this cycle. That's where you're at. And the right collective, you are now at that crossroads. And at this crossroad, your whole castle is crumbling. This is basically the tower. But it's not, because the castle will also be like your home, and like it's not just the foundation, it's your home, it's your kingdom, it's your it goes a bit broader, I feel. So yeah, exactly. The keywords are pride, recognition, position, praise for achievements, ego. Definitely, if you are breaking any sort of like cycle that you're caught in, you are challenging your ego. That's going to be uncomfortable. So ego, wealth, ancestry, antiquity, history, legacy, architecture, power, prestige, isolation, the old god, and timeless. Yes, I think you are isolated, or to a certain degree at least. I think you're isolated right now. Not like not meeting anyone, it's just I don't think you're talking about this to anyone around you, like where you're at right now. This is love, remember? This is a love reading. Wait, one sec. So, I just need to drink a bit. The ego definitely is standing out for me in this one, so you're definitely doing that. But it was also, I strongly felt materialism, but I am hearing the whole that not everything that glitters is gold. So it's kind of also about having been not tricked or anything. It's just that you saw something, it was glittery, and you found it to be golden, and it wasn't. Because what it was an extension of your old patterns. Patterns, that's the thing. Okay, that was the word I was searching for. So patterns, it's part of your old patterns, right? And right now, the castle is crumbling. Like it really is. It did this when it landed. So it has crumbled. But you're still stagnated. There is nothing unfolding right now at this time, it says. No, the answer is no. The situation or event is not unfolding at this time. So you're feeling a bit, but I'm also sensing, because I am feeling it right here and now, there's disassociation to some extent. I don't know how deep this goes, but there is disassociation. It's kind of like, because the tower has crumbled in your mind. The pattern has already been seen, identified, and you already know you need to make changes to it, but you haven't done it. And the reason is this one. Because then you got youth. And to me, for this right collective, it comes with a double-edged sword. So you're starting to feel more youthful. You're starting to feel more in that daring, brave, adventurous kind of spirit of things, right? But there's also this insecure. I'll read what it says, okay? But I'm really feeling pulled towards insecure in this one. So anyway, youth, there we have mutable, breaking free. That's the tower. Or your castle actually crumbling. Rebellious, I think you crumbled it. To a certain degree. It wasn't you, the right collective per se, it was... You couldn't keep it upright anymore. Like the castle, it had to crumble. Of course, the tower has to crumble. If you get the tower and if the tower is crumbling, then there's something wrong with the foundation, right? But there's some sort of newfound idealism, and you're on the verge of trying these things out, but you're very slow to act on this, whatever this is, because it's about finding yourself. So you're differentiating yourself then from the castle that was built, and I'm sensing that right now you're kind of scavenging through the ruins of this castle to pick out what was you, what will you be bringing with you, and how do you do that in a way that best suits you. Because you are supposed to be rebuilding this, but now you will be rebuilding it in a way that actually makes sense to you. That's where we're at right now. Okay, that's the situation. Like, I don't know if this means that... No, you're definitely together with someone. Or you have been. No, because you haven't acted yet. You're definitely still together with someone. This right collective, you're definitely still together with someone. But this is a timeless reading, so it will... If it resonates when you find it, then it's yours, okay? There's not more to it. I kind of want to pull a couple more for this, although I'm not sure why, because I kind of also want to go over to see what you're supposed to be doing next. Oh, that one was hidden. Wait, what was this? Give me a sec. They didn't want to play. Let's see. We got person of air. And then we also got sap. Physical life force. This right collective, you are the great mentalist. Person of air. I'm just going to read this. Eloquent, rational, upright, quick-witted, unemotional, controlling, sarcastic, cold, abrupt, critical, calculated. Teacher, lawyer, surgeon, journalist, and chef. But I got this upside down, and I don't usually read these that kind of way, but I am going to do this now. And I also got sap, which I also don't actually read upside down. Oh my god, I hate this line. Okay, I am not supposed to be self-conscious. I'm sorry, guys. Okay. And then you also got sap upside down. So resources, needed materials, flow, wealth, essence of life, spring, blood, nourishment, sweetness, energy, vitality, grounded, roots, abundant, physical health, life force, also upside down. And it was hidden by this card. So it was hidden by this air individual. And it's also heavily connected to it. I'm sensing that I want it to be all, oh, maybe you're connected to someone who's like, have a lot of like air in their not mind, but like air in their birth chart or something like that, personality. But that's not what I'm sensing. I'm sorry, it's not. What I'm actually sensing here is that this is the person that you are connected to. With the castle that is crumbling, and they're kind of like sapping your life force out because of the negative qualities of the air kind of personality, which is, you know, being overly critical. It can be being emotionally unattached. It can be being flighty, lacking empathy. All strategy. Not much heart. It's kind of like being very much, well, a cold person. And this cold person is also quite materialistic, which makes sense though, because of the whole, like, you've been attached to this, right? So you must have also aligned with it at some point, but also the thing that I said about like the castle crumbling and it being attached to material wealth as well. Like, if you were not married, then you will have been at least in a long-term relationship, because you've built something together. You've built a tiny castle, and it's been built in the image of this person that is quite materialistic. And you might have also been that, okay? I'm not saying anything else. And I'm also not saying that this person, this air person, is bad in any way, sense, or form. But they've felt quite entitled to, you know, needed resources, material, and whatnot, not just materialistically, but also materialistically. But it's also been attached to, because they come out as this like cold and detached person, then you will also have been relied on for warmth when that was desirable, I think. Because they themselves come so cold, and then you too might genuinely have felt like you were yin yang. I am sensing, like, because you kind of matched it, not matched, but you were sort of fulfilling each other. Does this make sense? In my head, this makes sense, like yin yang, the symbol, right? And you were fulfilling each other's traumas. So you were kind of what's it called? You were kind of more there's a word. There is a word. If it doesn't come to mind, then it's not supposed to be part of this. But you were allowing the other person to inhabit their trauma loop, just as they were not allowing, but perfect for you to do the same. That's why you were connecting. You were like puzzle pieces, but in a picture one wouldn't actually want to puzzle out, because that's not the image that one would want. It was based on trying to fix, quite likely, because it usually is, like, it was quite likely meant, or it's your nervous system fell for what you found recognizable from childhood in patterns with your, quite likely, parents. And then from that, you were trying to fix your relationship with your parents, quite likely. This is normal, okay? I'm not attacking you. We all do this. At some point, we all do this. In fact, most of us keep on doing this until Yeah, our dying day. So the fact that you have this is actually quite good, because this tells me that you know that you've been doing it, that you've been in this. Okay, this is the story. There is nothing more to add to it, I can sense. So we're going to be removing this. But you are at a crossroads. I'll let these stay, but not the deck, I think, just in case I need to watch them or like look at something. But we're gonna put you guys there instead. This is not good though, being connected to something like this. And you are still connected. That's important. This right collective, you've not left. The situation, I mean. Yes, the tower, no, not the tower, but the castle has crumbled. And you are still there. Let's see, what do we want? I want to know what you're supposed to be doing now. Actually. Because you are in the insecure. There's something, you're not like completely sure of your next step. Makes sense though. But since you're not completely sure about your next step, let's just see what the universe would like to offer you. And this is love reading. Okay, I'm feeling really strongly we should be using these. So we're going to use these. I was going to go for like tarot, but okay. What does the universe want to tell you about like your next steps here? Whoa, that flipped out hard. Reaching out. This one, reach out. Sensing. This could go a bit different ways actually. Like reach out, get out of the situation, or reach out and talk to people because you haven't done that. Self-love. Reaching out is an act of self-love then. You need to love yourself first. Why are you sticking around? Is that out of self-love or is that out of... martyrdom, or however you... Yeah, because you got that at a crossroads. No, you are holding on because you're having issues letting go and giving up and surrender. And you put others first. Oh, yes, of course. You're not... There's no self-love at all. You're not heeding the call. Ah. Okay, hi, that's why you're here. Welcome, collective. Okay, so the whole issue is the first card. Makes sense though. It's the crossroads that you're at. You are not doing any self-love right now because you're still there. You are not getting yourself out of this because you're still there. And it is because... Oh yeah, it's still this. You're getting into this like youthful thing, but you're also... That's kind of where you're at, your energy. So it's not just a positive thing. It's also the whole like... it's also the whole... Can I? No? Well, it's probably there if I said it, but it's... It's the... If I leave, it's... I feel there's something with magical thinking here. But not like the kind that's gorgeous and whatnot. It's in psychology. We're going to psychology here with magical thinking, which is a thing that children can do, where they feel lots of responsibility for how the events and stuff unfolds for the adults in their lives. And you're kind of stuck in that. But you're also very hormonal and you're finding yourself, but you're so impressionable. You want to be independent. And you are strong-willed. You're probably quite the annoyance to be around right now. Actually, there is a chance. There is a chance. Like I'm thinking about like a tweenie mood here. But still, the reason that you are stuck and whatnot and all of this is because you are sacrificing yourself right here and now. You are putting others first right here and now. You are purpose-driven, but I feel like you are trying to heed the call without actually heeding the call. If that makes sense. Like, yes, I am doing all of the things, but then I'm doing nothing. Yeah, definitely, because that's what I felt when I was getting ready, when I was putting all of this up. I was doing lots of stuff. And yet, at the end of it, I was like, yeah, I did nothing. But I did. It was just, nothing actually got done until I simplified it so hard. And I was like, no, you know what? We're just gonna use my phone. I washed my face, but that's it. Like, nothing on it. So barefaced, mask off. You need to take your mask off. No matter if you don't like your line, which I hate, you know? Like, you need to take your mask off. It doesn't really matter. What I told myself was that I don't do this, or rather, I do this because the message is important for the right collective. So I do this to serve, right? But that's not me being a martyr, or then that's not me being like, oh, great heroic effort. No, it's because this is not about me. So I had to just get down and get going. You know, just do it, no matter how it looks. Because this is not my best, I want to say, like, I've done better scenery, right? It's not perfect, which is relevant here. Listen, because I don't usually sit and talk about these sort of things when I film, because it's highly irrelevant most of the time. But I feel like that's very important here, because self-love might not feel or even look like self-love to you. Like the right kind might not look or feel like it to you. And the reason is that, yeah, you've crumbled your castle, the thing that's been holding you back, like in the loop, and the karmic wheel has shifted and moved, and now you can see it, the things that you've been caught in and whatnot. But until you actually start walking down the path of something different, you will still be stuck in what you were always stuck in. Because you've not yet learned to walk down that path, and you have no evidence to convince your subconsciousness and your emotional kind of like life, I don't know, but like, you need to convince your emotions with evidence, your subconsciousness, I mean. And until you start truly collecting that, and you can only collect that when you start walking down the path, you'll still be stuck in what was, because what was technically is what is. It just isn't anymore up here, because now you see it, and you have started to at least sense what it is that you want. I don't know how far you've gotten along on that, kind of like the other side of the tower crumbling. But you're supposed to be reaching out and getting out of this thing. For self-love. You've yet to put yourself first in any shape, way, or form, actually. Okay, but that's okay. Now we know. Then what would your next step be? For this right collective, what is the next step? I feel like this is going to be rather short, compared to what I usually put out. What's the next step for this Right Collective then? And something afterwards, I also want something that kind of can like be like almost like a pick-me-up, like where are we heading? Stuff like that, right? So I want to use these, I feel. Just something very simple. Like what are we supposed to be doing next? This Right Collective. How should they proceed forward for their highest good in a way that also feels like they can do it? This is going to be scary. You're going to be doing some new stuff. You're going to be living a little bit differently, quite likely. At least for a period of time. But what then would your recommended steps forward be? March on. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's like people walking and it's intense. I think you're supposed to be very confident, you know? Just do it. Just walk. Walk the walk. Don't just talk the talk is what I'm sensing here. These boots were made for walking, and that's just what they'll do. And one of many things they'll do will be to walk right. I can't go down there. Over you. That's what I'm sensing. You're supposed to just put on the boots and walk. At this point, walk the walk. Also, that song, if songs come up, then they're relevant in some sort of way to the collective. Maybe not to everyone, but to some it might be like a guiding star. Like there might be a message in the text, or it might just be like a symbol or synchronicity or whatever. And that kind of ties you into this reading a bit more, even if you need some more convincing. But the other song was lay it down, lay it down, let me see your hand. Show me what it's worth, tell me what it's worth. You're always playing, but you're not. You're always talking, but you're not playing. Is there something like that? It doesn't match your face. I can't remember what song it is. I heard it first on Rick and Morty. When Rick is like really heartbroken over the love of his life that he just literally did something. I don't remember. But it was horrible, and he was sitting there in his garage crying and being all really sad. We have a card dropping out here. 9 of Swords. Yeah, okay, so that's why you're actually caught in this. Here. It fell down so that it landed on top of the, you're stagnated. You're stagnated because of your youth and insecurity. Like, you're not a youth. Okay, you might be, but I'm not sensing that. I actually feel like you might be an adult, like a proper adult. And then also the air person. This one fell straight on top of all of that. And this is nightmares, This is being caught. This is when I just had heard a different reader use these words. I can't remember who it is, but it was quite literally, you have realized, you can now see the loop that you're caught in. You can see the bars that, like the prison bars, that contains you. And you now know you need to break free. You need to walk away. And then there's the walking again. What it says here, though, is 9, because it was in the upright position, mental anguish, psychological trauma, lost hope or love, dark thoughts, anxiety, fear, nightmares, insomnia, worry, and also a no, which is interesting, because you've got 2 no's. It's not very easy to get any cards from me that says yes or no. I have a deck that does that. I avoid that deck because it does that. So I'm really sensing you are stopping yourself from moving on right now. You are really going through the whole martyrdom. You are really making your life more difficult than it has to be. You're really not showing yourself any self-love or compassion. That's the thing. Yeah. Okay, let's try this one though first. I still want to know kind of your recommended steps forward. Okay. Oh, fuck. Okay. Okay. I was just going to stop shuffling to turn around the first card that fell down because it fell down. Yeah. It fell down on the 9 of Swords and the youthful card. So like you right now, the energy that you're in, right? And this was the High Priestess upright. No, upside down. So, you know, the thing that I said, you're not talking to anyone. Not anyone around you, at least. But I'm thinking, like, you could perhaps be talking to, like, a psychologist or, like, someone that's not actually connected to this or to your life. You could be talking to that. But you are not talking to anyone in your actual life. So then we have keeping it all in, disconnected, withholding, suppressed intuition, because you're suppressing yourself right now, and what your body and yourself is trying to tell you to do, which is self-love and actually reaching out of this situation, potentially also reaching out to people to get yourself out of this situation, relying on others. It's not something you're doing right now. So there's also secrets, yeah, because you're not talking to anyone. Missing information because you're hiding it. And I talked about the whole, you need to let your mask fall, just as I have done today. It's not night. Anyway, so isolation, as I talked about, you have isolated yourself. Or at least when it comes to this information, or where you're at emotionally and energetically, kept in the dark. You're not at all connected. You are disconnecting from your intuition just to survive your everyday life. There is no self-love in this. I sense that I'm genuinely no, I won't say that out loud. No, I'm going to say it. What I was sensing was that this reading might have actually been so important for me to get out right here and right now, because this crossroads will intensify. Like, the emotions and everything that you are sensing will intensify. It will not get easier. This is not going anywhere. Like, the feelings that you have in your relationship right now, or also the things that you are seeing, they won't diminish at any point. The only thing that could happen, and this could happen, is that you start repressing yourself properly, and this time knowingly. Because previously you've been caught in like a loop, right? And you can heal from those. And if you don't seek out your new like experience, if you don't seek out your new people, if you don't seek out your new place, you kind of remain stuck where you're at, you know? That's what I'm really sensing here. But that's not a bad thing, because what came out afterwards is the Emperor. So what you're supposed to be doing is taking action. You're supposed to know that you can take action, but you're also supposed to know that you have what you need physically, because the Emperor is like the physical world and like the physical realm and having the funds and whatnot. So right now, you're supposed to know that whatever it is that you need, or you feel like you need, or you feel like it's stopping you, it isn't. It's just you. It's just you, because you have everything that you need. And the only actual thing you need to do right now, and there's like lots of it as well now. You can hear it. There's so much. Yeah. What you're supposed to be doing is walking. That's what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to walk away from this, and you're supposed to be walking into like your new whatever. Even though you might not know exactly how that looks like. You're supposed to be inhabiting the Emperor. So, divine, I'm being extremely distracted. Yeah. And also, actually, what's it called? Disturbed without being disturbed. And it's like family life, specifically. This is relevant. So you're not disassociating, you're escaping. Just as you've done before. Just before you were unaware of it. But you're doing the exact same thing. You're still actually kind of caught in the exact same loop. It's just that your coping mechanism might not have been very clear. Your coping mechanism is to escape into work, chores, responsibility, and everyone else, so that you don't have to live your own life. You don't have to feel the way that you live your own life. And if you actually stopped to do that, I don't think you could have stayed because of the pain. Or rather, you would have to react and do something. Because I think it would be extremely painful. That's if we don't want to feel something, and if we start doing whatever else to distract ourselves from it, which you are, the right collective you are, then that also means that doing it is kind of what you need to do to get action and movement, and that's what you want, huh? Yeah. This is intense right now. You're very much being distracted by this. Okay. We still didn't get... Well, we have. We're getting the same message over and over and over again, actually. You need to start walking. You need to put on those boots. And... No, that's it. It's that simple. It really is that simple. Okay. Let's see then. If you were to start walking, and if you were to remain, what could you expect? Should we be using the same deck? No. Stories? Perhaps. This one then. Yeah. Okay. So, You already know the issue. You don't need one for that. I just want a couple of if you remain. I'm sensing these are the wrong cards for that. This is probably if you know. Oh my god, you're so indecisive. Right now. I'm sorry, but the right collective, you're so indecisive. I feel like I need to use 2 decks just to address that. Not because I need to, but because it's like stay or go, stay or go. This is odd and very uncomfortable. Okay, let's just see what jumps out. Yeah, 8 of Swords. Like you're trapped in your mind. You're trapped in your mind, and you feel you're more trapped than you are. It's the exact same thing that I was talking about earlier, where it's like you see the bars that are imprisoning you, but you can't see your way out and through it, and you're frozen. 8 of Swords is being frozen. You're frozen in your own mind, and you're frozen in action. And you'll keep on being so if you don't act. Okay. Wait, I got that one. I wanna just give me a sec here, okay? Just wanna see these cards before I start talking. Okay. So, what I got was 9 of Cups landed on top of 8 of Swords, and then we also got King of Wands. This is the upright position, and then the the opposite position is King of Wands. And these combined with 8 of Swords, you know, being imprisoned, to me, this is you are sacrificing your emotional well-being, yes, but your wish fulfillment, you're sacrificing that. You should know that if you stay, you are sacrificing whatever it is that you want emotionally. You're saying no thank you to the universe. I didn't want that anyways. And you are extinguishing your fire. Like passion for life, passion for change, passion, the whole emperor thing, you're extinguishing it. And the longer you stay in this, the more it accumulates. It doesn't really matter. You can grow and then digress. You can open your eyes and still remain. You can see what it is you're stuck in and not do anything. That won't be in line with healing at all. So you will be pushing your own boundaries, and you'll be pushing yourself back to where you were. Quite literally. And the self-loving thing would be... I didn't actually ask for that. But I suppose because these ended up all on the other end of the table. On top of self-love and the whole like reaching out, walking out then, you know? And that was 3 of Coins, which is, to me, it's also learning something new, which directly references the thing that we were talking about, which was you need to actually walk the walk. You need to do the new thing. You can't just see what needs to be done, see where you're at, see the loop, see whatever. You have to act as well. You have to learn as well. And you have to do that quite practically. You have to truthfully and actually experience this thing, right? And you're not right now. Right now you're kind of stuck. And you're stuck in a kind of like fight and flight mode where you've been freezing instead. Like freeze. And then you also had Knight of Wands, which I find to be very interesting, since, and this is the upright position, right? So the opposite position was the was the King of Wands, and it was connected to the staying, where it's like complete extinguishing. But this is directly tying into, it's almost a continuation of where you're at right now. With the youthful energy, finding yourself, you know, being bold and brave and idealistic and trying stuff. Individualization. Just give me one sec. Okay. I'm sorry. So the individualization thing, right? There's no real question or doubt or anything. There's like, it's the same thing coming out here. You are supposed to be walking now. You're supposed to be taking actual action now. Hermit was underneath it. Meaning like the... this is the kind of like the defining energy here. But that's basically, I'm sensing it's the same thing here as the crossroads. It's not hanged man position though. It's not hanged man position. It's, or like the hanged man card. It's more the whole being still and going inside right now and figuring out the, I'm sorry, I'm also sensing that picking out what still makes sense for you to do to kind of bring along with you from the ruins of the castle that you've crumbled, or that has crumbled. But it is, you're tied to it in some sort of way. I mean, like the loop has been identified and the castle has been crumbled based on you really wanting to do that. I feel like you've taken active action towards this. This has not just been sleepwalking. And then you suddenly opened your eyes out of absolutely nowhere. There's something here that's connected to you and being an active energy, which makes sense because I think you actually have this. I think you actually have the Emperor energy in you, but you need to use it. If it's at your disposal, you're supposed to be using it now. Oh yeah. So I'm not sure I read this one, the Emperor. So divine masculine, right? This is not about gender. You can have masculine, you have masculine energy and feminine energy, no matter your gender. But this is tapping into your divine masculine energy, which is, in keywords, we have the establishment, action-oriented, gets it done. Those are your most important keywords, I feel. But then it's also protective, authority, powerful, stability, leader, and father. There really isn't much more to say to this. You're supposed to be walking. You're supposed to be doing that. So instead, I'm just going to ask, like, what sort of energy should... It's the Emperor. There is literally nothing to add to this. But I want to give you, like, a push. Because you're not doing it. So let's try with these. Just like, what's your supporting energy right now? That's what I want to know. What's your supporting energy right now? Because you have to have that. You are in the Emperor mode. That's, you just are. But what is your supporting energy right now? To like... I genuinely feel like this collective also has supportive energy surrounding you. That does not need to be necessarily like people or anything, but it's like if you chose to walk, if you chose to act, then things would start aligning for you. I'm not saying it wouldn't be bumpy. It quite likely would be. But because change is, but it's still, it's like you could call it your spirit team if you believe in that. I do, but it's just like you're going to be supported by the universe. Oh, yeah, look at this. You got a card. 0505. Unexpected shift. Divine intervention. Sudden challenges. It's all the things that we talked about. Love, pleasant surprises, gut feeling. Okay, so this is what it says. The number serves as a gentle nudge to pursue whatever interests you most. It's possible that something could rock your boat, but you'll end up exactly where you belong, which could be it's new love, in somebody's arms, your dream job, or abroad, etc., etc. It's a shift. You're supposed to be moving with conviction right now, in your own conviction, in what you're feeling, in who you are. You're supposed to be doing the thing, whatever the thing is, and not just planning the thing. That's something I feel you might have picked up on from this air individual that you're connected to, or that you've developed alongside, or that they have just really, like, you might have had that trait before, but it's been really segmented into you now as an adult because of this person. I'm not sure, like, you can't just listen to your intuition and do the thing. You have to think and think and think, and then you think your ideas to death, because you never act, you just think. And then you think some more, and then you ruminate, and then you probably get a bit anxious, because you're seeing all of the things that could go wrong, and probably also all the things that could go right, but in the human brain, all the things that could be painful will always stick out way more than all of the things that could be joyful. We, as humans, are very inclined to run away from happiness and joy, and rather towards pain for some weird reason, but we are still very aversive of it in our heads. It's almost like that's the worst kind of torture than receiving the so-called torture. But we always think things so much worse than what they end up being, at least most of the time. But yeah, with the whole like insecure, let's just see if there's something more popping out from this one, like the energy around you. But it's still like the sudden change, right? Sudden change, and then also the if you leave, it will be uncomfortable at first. It will. But you will also receive something that's far better, and that you would never receive where you're at. You will never receive it where you're at. You're literally sacrificing that with the whole like wish fulfillment, the emotional wish fulfillment. You're sacrificing that. You're not getting that where you're at. Never. Not as it is. Between you two, I mean. Sure, everyone and everything can change, but like with this one, I feel like it's more of a stuck energy. So you'd probably need to separate to even grow and evolve and heal, both of you. And I'm not saying this other person is a horrible person, okay? That's very important. But this is the energy around you. So sudden shift, and it did indicate lots of new blessings. But you're going to have to act for it, because it says which could be. You're not guaranteed anything right now. Because you're not guaranteed anything on a crossroads. You haven't even chosen a path to walk on a crossroads. Not even slightly. You're frozen. At a crossroads, you're frozen. and not necessarily because you need to stand there and think and be like, it's like you walked into a forest. This is the imagery I have in my head. You're walking into a forest. You've never been in this forest before. And then there's like a signpost. And it's like, you can go that way or this way. You've never been there before. And it only says that way, this way. It doesn't say any specific name or whatnot. It's just like, standing there and thinking will lead you nowhere. Also, not closer to any good solution, because you literally don't know what's down any of these roads whatsoever. The only thing you can do to experience what's down there is to actually walk, and you're going to have to make a choice then. And in life, that's what we do. We approach these crossroads and we have to choose. We've never been down either path, and by choosing to walk down one path, you automatically are not walking down the other path. And also, by not making a very explicit choice, but you just like your legs just start moving kind of down a specific path, that's where you're actually moving. That's where you're actually walking. That's where you're actually landing your feet with every step. Well, subconsciously or consciously, you're still walking that path, meaning you are walking away from the other path that you could have taken. That choice, you are moving further and further and further and further away from. The only thing you can really do in those sort of situations is like you enter and then you follow your gut. You need to follow your gut instinct. It's far wiser to be someone who listens to all of your system, who listens to your intuition, who listens to your intuition, your logic, your emotions, your everything, like everything. You listen to everything and you ruminate on nothing. When it comes to situations like that, it kind of has to be that way. Because otherwise you'll be stuck. Or you'll be led down anywhere. And that's, both of those two are giving up your life for someone else to decide. Or no, it's still someone else. If you are living your life in accordance to your trauma loops, if you are living your life in accordance to stuff that has happened before, your past basically, and how that has colored you, or other people's opinions and stuff like that. So long as you are living your life in any other way than through the hermit's way, which is internalization, like it is getting to know yourself and how do I feel about whatever this is? How do I truthfully feel? And what do I truthfully want? What is my truthful North Star? Unless you can do that, you will never be living your life. You're giving it up to everyone else. And you only got this one life. Doesn't matter if you believe in reincarnation or anything like that. You, as you, only have this life, and you as you only have so long, and it's a very short time period. And you as you have no guarantees of living a single breath longer than what you are. Never. I'm not saying that you won't, okay, that's very important. Quite likely you will, hopefully, please. But we are not guaranteed anything in life. And we do not get more guaranteed those things in life by thinking and planning and whatnot. We should plan for your future, because that gives you direction. For example, say that you are walking down this crossroads again. This is important for a reason. I'm talking about it for a reason. So let's go back to the forest now. You're walking down this path, and then you are met with a crossroads. It doesn't say where it's pointing you. It's just like this way or that way. But if you have within you decided that you will be, for example, guided by, or maybe it just falls naturally to you, or whatever, like you have some sort of connection to something, like maybe you see a rose down one of the paths and you're like, yeah, that's the path, because you're what's it called? Trusting. You're trusting. I'm guessing you're not very trusting, actually. But okay, you're trusting that you will not be led astray by the universe or yourself. You will follow your guides. You will follow your synchronicities. You will follow your signs. You will follow that which has not led you astray. And that which gives you some sort of peace and comfort. But that could be the extent of the plan. Because you're walking into new territory anyways. And that is not a stupid thing. Or like, that's not a bad way of approaching it. You could quite literally be like, hey, I need a sign, okay? And it has to be something that I will recognize, and it has to be something that gives meaning to me, and it can't be something that I will see everywhere all the time. It has to be like this thing, because you can specify this to a very specific degree, like highly specific, down to details. And that's the only time you'll actually be doing this, right? I will choose the path that does that. I will choose the path that does this. But then, you might also end up at certain points. You will definitely find crossroads where you will not be given these signs, and you'll just have to trust yourself and your gut instinct. But it becomes easier if you're already learning to do so, for example, with the help of signs. Because that's truly what you're doing. You're learning to trust yourself and following your gut with signs and synchronicities. Also important, signs and synchronicities, because this is a love reading, signs and synchronicities are for yourself. So even if the signs and the synchronicities are tied to a specific person, it doesn't, this is a general message, it doesn't actually necessarily, unless there's like pre-planned in your head. And still then I'm a bit like, But it doesn't necessarily tie to a specific person at all. It could be tying to their traits, and it could be tying to like, if you're constantly, let's say that this is a masculine collective, right? And you're constantly receiving signs and synchronicities from like your feminine counterpart, for example. It's still not about them, usually. It's more maybe a nudge towards yourself to find your inner feminine, because you're kind of attaching that energy to them because you're already viewing them sort of kind of as like the epitome of it. It's like in your head, unconsciously. No, subconsciously, not unconsciously. Hopefully you're conscious. Anywho, that's what I'm sensing here. And I have deviated so much when it comes to listening to yourself in this reading. So you're really supposed to be doing that. You're really supposed to be listening to yourself. And I really want to leave you with an energy, but I'm not sure which energy to leave you with. Because you're supposed to be the Emperor. But there isn't anything else to add to this. You are protected. Sudden shifts are your friend. You're supposed to be the Emperor. You're supposed to like take action, because you already are the Emperor, and you have it within you to take action right now. There is nothing to fear, except fear itself. No, but don't fear that either. It's just an emotion. And also it can be helpful in guiding that as well, but this isn't fear, it's anxiety. It's like, what's stopping you is anxiety. Freeze. Okay, I reached for this for a reason, so we're going to go with that. You're going to get a Damon card. Oh, it actually turned longer than I was sensing it was going to. This reading. Okay, let's just see. This is your last card. I just want to leave you with like a good energy or something. Ooh, whoa. Okay. Nickar, and then was this Nyx? Nyckel? I know what this is. Oh, wait, I don't need the book for this. Ha! Okay, It's the exact same thing that we've been saying, quite literally. So, you got this one. It's really cute. But it's about you should be preparing, as a sailor does for a sail, like, when they're going to be sailing out at shore, out in sea, whatever the sailor people do on boats with water underneath it. You're supposed to be doing that, right? Or like you're supposed to be preparing as them, but there's also the whole like, you need to get your boat sailing now, okay? You're supposed to be just pushing off from shore now and sail off. But you bring what you can bring to cover the things that you know you're going to need. Like, you're going to need food. You're going to need change of clothes. You're going to need warm clothes. You're going to need probably like something to keep yourself dry. Water, all of those things. And probably, like, I don't know, like fishing rod, whatever you're going to be needing. Stuff like that. What you can prepare yourself for, you should be preparing yourself for. But that doesn't mean preparing for everything that could happen. It means specifically you prepare and you pack and you plan for what is extremely obvious. And then knowing that you will be able to work through whatever else will come your way, because you can't prepare for everything. Prepare for what you can. And then you think on your feet, because you're going to have to. And then you also trust your gut. You trust reliable information as well. For example, like, you would be listening to other sailors who have gone down the same path. And they know this and this and this is perhaps like a spot where it would be extra dangerous. You would listen to that and avoid it, or like do whatever it is that you need to traverse it if you actually truly have to go through it. Or, because I'm also seeing the Sea of the epic, the musical, Sea of Strilla. Is that what she's called? The sea monster. Not a monster though, but like a god or like something. Because you do what you can. With the whole like putting for the siren. The sirens are trying to murder them as well, and they put stuff in their ear so as to not be seduced by their songs and their flattery and their stories and you're going to be seduced away from this. Once you actually start taking action, you should be aware of the fact that the person that you are going to be leaving will be using, this is normal by the way, will be using tactics to try and keep you to stay. It won't be for your benefit, it will be for their benefit. It's like the sirens in that musical, the epic, right? The sirens want you to stay, and the sirens want you to jump into the sea. But it's really not as blissful as they're selling it, because they really truly just want to eat you, continue on, living their best life, which is not necessarily your best life, because you ended up dead with the sirens. But yeah, after you've done what you can do, which isn't everything, you're not preparing for everything that could possibly happen. It's everything that you know would happen. Like, I will get hungry. I will need clothes. And stuff like reliable information. Like, I don't know, because I really don't know your situation. But reliable information, you should be listening to that as well. But that's not just before you start walking, because you won't know what will be helpful for you to understand, to know, to all of those things until you actually start walking the walk. down the path because you've never been there before. You don't know. That's also a thing. When you are preparing now, you are preparing from your old perspective where you've been before. You're not even preparing for the road that you're going to be walking down because you've never been there. You don't know what it has waiting for you there. You don't know the terrors. You don't know the bliss. You know nothing. You've never been there. So everything and anything that you are preparing for when it goes beyond your most basics, you wouldn't be able to. You are preparing for a completely different path. And that's also not a good thing because that also means that you are highly susceptible to start walking down the path that you've been preparing for, of course, because that's where all of your tools work. So when you go down this path, your tools are not working. And you're just like, why? Why isn't it working? Because it's the wrong tools. And they fit for what you've been and where you've been. They don't work necessarily for where you're going. But you can bring along the knowledge and you can bring along the experience and all of that. But it's just like, know that whatever, if it goes any further than what you know you will be experiencing because it's like a basic thing, then it's not for this road. You're preparing for what you were, not who you want to be at all. So there's that. You need to just start walking. Yeah, that is the message for this collective. Be bold. Be brave. You have this. You have this. You can do this. So many others have before you because of the sailing stuff, right? And other people have been down the seas that you're going to be traversing. It is safe and it is smart to reach out to people that you trust, to people that you know want your best, and you deserve to choose yourself, self-love. You deserve that. So at this crossroads, if you remain, and the longer you do so, everything here that I've been talking about, everything that I've mentioned is relevant. So if you remain, you're also going to be remaining. Like you honestly are sacrificing your wish, fulfillment, emotional. And you should know that. And you're also sacrificing your life force. It's like, it was everything. It was like your fire. All of it. I want one card. If you were to go, what are you receiving? In general, what are you receiving if you decide to actually act as they are telling you to? So indecisive. So indecisive. I'm trying to sense which deck should I be using. This is so indecisive. This is so indecisive. I'm not a fan. It doesn't really matter which deck so I'm just going to be choosing. See, even now I'm like, oh, but wait, should I be taking these? No, we're taking these just because. What are you receiving? If you decide to be bold and brave and whatnot. I'm also sensing I should be picking one of these. I have like these tiny little stars that I've created. Oh, you got the moon. So you would be receiving something that has to do with emotional and secrets and experiencing new stuff. It's also about, well, I'm sensing very much that it's about that emotional. Oh, wait, I just want to take one more here first. Oh, wow. Yes, it was that. But, okay, look at this. You got the sun. Oops. And then you had the moon, right? So you have the sun and the moon. Well, you're going to receive your true complementary. Like in life in general, it's not... I think you're truly going to find somewhere that you belong. Like that yin-yang thing that you thought you had, you're going to actually be receiving. And it'll be emotionally fulfilling. And it will be abundant. I'm going to say materialistically fulfilling as well. Probably. Because abundance can be a lot, but I'm sensing that for this collective, since you had it, it might be important to you. It's just, you're going to be receiving, like, it's going to be complementary. It's going to be all the things that you are, of course. If you stay, you're sacrificing your emotional wish fulfillment. But if you go, that also means that's what you're receiving. If you choose to walk. That wish fulfillment is yours. At some point, that is yours. Just want to see. There's there are so many wands there. You've got the Page of Wands now in this deck, which is also starting on a new adventure. And it is filled with passion and childlike wonder and play and fulfillment. It will feel like living again, because you're not feeling that right now. You can't be. You're hiding away in your chores and your responsibilities and your reasons. Right now, the things that distract you are also cloaking you from yourself. Intentionally, even if it is subconscious, even if that's a thing that you didn't choose to do, it's still what it is doing. And that is giving you respite from moving on. So this is probably something that you mostly think about in quiet moments. And in all honesty, those less than quiet moments are blissful in the sense that they let you not think. So you're acting, you're doing all of this like stuff, like what I was doing, as I talked about earlier. I was doing all of these things, but at the end I wasn't actually doing anything. Because I wasn't actually doing the thing that I needed to be doing. So yeah, you're doing lots of stuff then, but they're not relevant for the path that you want to walk and to get the thing done, you know? You're going to get like a completely new drive for life. That's what I'm sensing. And I'm done. I can sense that I'm done. There is nothing more to add to this. So for the right collective, I really, really, really hope that this helped and that you felt like you got something from it. And hopefully you feel a bit calmer as well. Because I do realize that this is not simple. And yet, you really need to do this. Like, you really need to do this for your own sake. Okay? That was it. See you later. Mwah.